Can a four up front tactic just bring everyone to silverware? Let's find out. Ladies and gents, this is called the Pep Guardiola Total Football Era Dominant Possession, blah, blah, blah. It is a Pep Guardiola tactic. It is Cruyff and Guardiola inspired tactic. It is a dream team system of Pep Guardiola, according to the Steam Workshop. And I will say, the Steam Workshop has a ton of information on it. Unfortunately, it's not all about the tactic. You have stuff about tiki-taka style. You have stuff about, you have a couple quotes about things like that. About Barcelona and how they just were the most successful club in the 21st century. There's a lot of information, just not all on the tactic. But take that for what it's worth. You do have some information on the tactic. In training, one model to use is 2 weeks tactical, 1 week ball control, 1 week attacking per month. So there's a couple of things in there. It's not really tactic based, but it's kind of FM based. So take a look, see what you think. If you use it, great. If not, oh well. But this is the tactic. So you've got a sweeper keeper in defense. You got 2 wingbacks on support, a ball-playing defender on both sides in defend. You have a segundo volante on both sides in support in the midfield, 2 inside forwards on attack, and then 2 advanced forwards in attack up front. So it is a 4 up front attacking. Everyone else is support minus the 2 center backs. It is a balanced mentality, custom clean slate, in possession, attacking with a standard approach play, pass into space, overlap on the left and right, focus play down the left and the right. Passing directness is shorter, tempo is higher, low crosses in the final third, and then run at defense. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly, and then roll it out. And then out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a standard defensive line, kind of opening up that midfield a bit, which you only have the 2 midfielders in, but trigger press much more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and get stuck in. As usual, nothing in the opposition instructions. But how did it do with these teams? It did fairly well. You can see Newcastle in 4th, Wolves in 5th, and Tottenham in 6th. Tottenham, 70 points to 77 is actually a pretty good mix right there. Tottenham, you'd probably want more, but Newcastle finding its way to 4th is pretty good, and Wolves in 5th is fantastic. But overall, a pretty good tactic to start out with. Newcastle's schedule looks fantastic in the first half of the season. You do get dropped out of the EFL Cup 3rd round, 2-2 in penalties against Fulham, but beyond that, Man City crushing them, Brighton just missing out, and then Liverpool crushing them. The second half of the season is where it gets a little spottier, but you drop out in the FA Cup 3rd round, 1-2 against Manchester City, of course. You have 1 loss, but look at all this green and yellow right there. A fantastic set of results, and a pretty good May, too. So only loss is 5-1 drubbing against Arsenal, but overall, a pretty good season. Wolves coming up next, obviously a little bit more spotty, but Liverpool 1-6. Liverpool and Manchester City are just crazy. They do move on in the EFL Cup 2nd round, but drop out to Tottenham 3-4 at home in the EFL Cup 3rd round. You do get some spotty results here in October, but a 5-0 thrashing of Southampton is pretty nice. 4-all against Chelsea. Second half of the season, you do continue into the FA Cup all the way, and you win the FA Cup final 4-2 against Fulham. A very nice victory there. A fantastic March, April, and May. Only 1 loss, 1-2 away from home to Manchester City. Fantastic results. And then, of course, Tottenham, definitely a lot more spotty, especially in August. A horrific August, pretty much. But September, you are picking it up. Now, you do have the Champions League, so you have a bunch more games. But a fantastic November or December, heading into the second half of the season. Only 2 losses in January. Pretty nice. And look at all those matches. My God. But EFL Cup semifinals you're continuing through. Champions League round of 16 you're going through. 2-2 draw against Manchester City in the quarters. And then a 2-1 win against Manchester City. So you keep going. Champions League, though, you do lose out to Liverpool 0-1 and then 3-4 at home. Out of the Champions League, you're out of the quarterfinals of the FA Cup against Brentford. So, still, not a bad set of results in the season. Where's the EFL Cup final? EFL Cup final, you win. West Ham, I always get screwed up because it's always in the middle of the season. But 5-0 against West Ham in the EFL Cup final. You do get a trophy. It's not the greatest of trophies, but it's still a trophy. It's a fantastic result for a trophy. But there you go. Newcastle transfers. You got a couple ins. Facundo Farias we've seen. Thuram we've seen once or twice before, but Mohamed Kudus from Ajax for 60 million. And then Pedro from Flamengo in Brazil, 16.75. You do have a 42.5 million out to Alain Saint-Maximin to Milan. That's a big one right there. Transfers for Wolves, you got Costinha from Rio Ave for 3.8 million up to 4.6. Luis Maximiano from Lazio 10.5 to 12.75, and then Tormena from Braga for 11.5. And then out you got Jose Sa to Porto for 20.5, and then obviously Lembikisa we've seen before. And then Tottenham, you've got a bunch in. I mean, Barbosa from Flamengo, 15.75. Sailmakers from Milan for a loan fee. Dominguez from Gimnasia and Esgrima. Tony Weston we've seen. Marcos Leonardo did not do very well, though. Pretty much an off-the-bench dude right now, and only 6.76 to 6.8. So not great, but 14 million. Shakir from Trabzonspor, 13.5. Rafa Marin from, I guess, Real Madrid B for 250. And then Eric Garcia on loan for Barcelona. A fantastic pickup there. How did he do? He played a little, 6.53. Not great, though. Ooh. And then the big one here, Oliver skipped to Milan for 29 up to 37. Newcastle's data hub, they're shaky in defense, but very good in attack. As you can see, all the bubbles in attack are just fantastic, except for the bottom section. But still, well, dribbles per game and passing percentage, not exactly on par with the Premier League. But look at all these. Goals per game is fantastic. Defensively, yeah, you're a lot closer to the Premier League average, and in some, not even getting there. But fouls per game is nice. Less than the Premier League average. Wolves actually a little bit better, okay defensively and good in attack, just not very good in attack. You still have some great numbers here from shots per game, goals per game, fouls against per game, not too bad. The defensive side, fouls per game is fantastically lower. Everything else is pretty much on par thereabouts with the Premier League average. And then Tottenham, shaky in defense and good in attack. Again, the bubbles are fantastic in some areas and not so much in others. Defensively, yeah, you've got some woes in there. So conceded per game is less. Fouls made per game is less. Blocks per game, though, not great. So, I mean, yeah, shaky, definitely. So this is definitely a heavy tactic in favor of shooting at the target. Most goals, all three teams in the top five. Fewest shots against Newcastle, which is nice. But then nothing really. Wolves in fewest conceded, most shutouts, Newcastle. And you do have some good defensive pieces. It is a balanced mentality yet again. But most shots for all three teams in the top seven, and then most points per game, as you would expect. Now, with a heavy shot-based tactic, most goals, Harry Kane with 23, Barbosa with 21, coming in new, Alexander Isak with 20, you got Raul Jimenez with 17, and Cunha with 16, so nicely spread out between at least Wolves and Tottenham. At least Isak get in there, but most assists, Neto, Sarabia, and Pedro all in there. Again, some new boys in there. Fantastic pickups, apparently. Most player in the match awards, Isak, Barbosa, Cunha, and Kane. 6 up to 10 for Isak. Fewest conceded, Maximiano, Shakir, Sa, and Lloris in there. Most shutouts, you got Nick Pope. Most key passes, Trippier and Sarabia, both up there as you would expect. Most shots, there you go. Isak, Kane, and Cunha all up there. 98 to 117. 195, my God. And as we finish with the stats for each team, overall, in all competitions, Isak with 20 goals. It actually is a lower number than he's used to from what I've seen, but 7.47 is a fantastic highest average rating. Guimaraes and Pedro with 10 assists apiece, and then most player of the match awards, Isak with 11. Fantastic result there for Newcastle. Jimenez and Cunha with 21 goals apiece for Wolves. That is tremendous. Cunha was 7.21, a highest average rating. Neto was 16 assists. Fantastic. And then 8 player of the match awards for Cunha. Definitely a nice set for Wolves, especially what we've seen in the past. And then finishing up with Tottenham, Harry Kane with a whopping 35 goals. That is an amazing result for Kane. We've seen him higher in one or two tactics, but this is a fantastic result for him. Barbosa, though, with 7.29 average rating, a new boy. Son and Pedro Porro with 15 assists apiece. And then Gabriel Barbosa with 12 player of the match awards. Some of the new players just coming in and storming the league. Fantastic to see. But overall, this tactic looks terrific. There's no question about it. Definitely something to start off with. But 4 players up front, all in attack, is going to leave a little bit open towards the midfield and the backside. So make sure you got some good players there. I wonder how a Bournemouth or Brentford or something like that's going to do. But that's the tactic. It looks pretty nice so far. Let us know if you've tried it out and how it worked for you. But that is it for me, Stefan FM for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.